Behind me here is the Dakota building, Dakota apartment building, the famous, the infamous. And I'm not going to take you on a tour around the site because I get the feeling that security will come and I get the feeling that security is very, very tight and that they're very, very sensitive about people, curiosity seekers, riffraff like me coming around and riffraff doing my riffraff stuff in their presence. So I'm going to be a little more circumspect. First of all, I want to make this clear, I did not come to New York City to do a video on the Dakota building. It was just a happy coincidence that I saw Rosemary's Baby for the first time and happened to be coming to New York a few days later. What is time anyway? Time is just a construct. Just a social construct. Well, I guess it'd be interesting to maybe conclude what I have to say about the Dakota building, which I'm on the corner of right now, just barely edging around the side of. I'm not going to act like I'm the mystery historian here. I just found out some information myself about the Dakota and its history. And it seems that the Dakota building was first constructed in the late 19th century, essentially for the purpose of building an artist colony for the artistic elite. So the whole intention, the whole design for the building was to construct a place for people who are supposedly, the visionaries, and who also happen to have a lot of money. Isn't it convenient that the people who are the visionary, who deem themselves the visionaries, are also the ones who are very wealthy and men and women of means? I mean, you're not going to see any wandering homeless prophets holding up in the Dakota building. They're not going to be able to afford the rent. I guess I'm guessing they don't pay rent. I'm guessing that you just buy your apartment in a place like the Dakota building. But in any case, they couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford to live there. But so it was called the Dakota because it was thought of as being on the frontier, and at the time, the Dakota lands of America, the American Indian lands where the Dakota Indians lived, were considered the frontier. Hence the name, the Dakota building. And through the years, this is such a flattering shot. Through the years, what I wanted you to see, the building itself, without becoming too conspicuous. Through the years, various famous writers, and artists, and keyword famous, people who made it, people who were recognized. I'm not saying that they're tainted by being recognized. I'm not saying that there's something bad about recognition. I'm just slightly cynical about the whole endeavor, the whole stated endeavor. And the notion that some monkey business was afoot i.e., Satanism or something of its nature, was afoot, which is heavily suggested in Rosemary's Baby. They have in that movie and in the book that the movie's based on. It's not called the Dakota, it's called something else, but it's clearly meant to be the Dakota, and there's all this lore about Satanism and evil doing and taking place by various residents, and famously or infamously, this is where John Lennon and Yoko Ono lived, and where John Lennon was shot and killed just outside of his residence here. Now, John Lennon, the folklore about John Lennon is that he's a man of the people, right? That he's a working class hero, or something like that. Like, again, forgive my cynicism, but he was here living among the hoity-toity. What does that say about him? Does that say man of the people? I'm really not trying to sound, I really don't want to sound too bitter, and I don't want to sound too categorical. I'm not saying that there was nothing good about the architect, about the notion of behind the founding of this building. I'm not saying that all of the famous people who lived here, including many famous artists, authors, poets, what have you, musicians, various feted, lauded people. I'm not saying that their art is just to be dismissed because they were famous or because they were well known. I'm saying there is something to me that I tend to look askance at in my old age, about the notion of constructing a colony for the visionaries, the seers. I don't know if it's of necessity a bad or an evil thing, but the more that you get to know how the so-called elite are rotten to their very nauseating core, the more you tend to be cynical about endeavors like the Dakota, like the endeavor that was the Dakota. And again, it lends some credence to the idea that Rosemary's Baby is a kind of revelation of the method, where we were told a thing or two about what this building and what its founders are really like and what they're really all about. Incidentally, just let me show you I guess this is Neptune. I guess this isn't necessarily satanic, but I don't know. It's a little scary. That, what do you call it? Decorative bit. Just like the World Trade Center had the tridents that came up from the bottom levels. Anyway, Andy Nowicki reporting to you live from hoity-toity, the hoity-toity Upper West Side. Is this the Upper West Side? Well, Central Park. It's right over there. I think this is the Upper West Side. Anyway, reporting to you from the Dakota. Signing off.